Welcome to the Meditation Podcast. You can find all our episodes on meditationpodcast.org. I also have the Awakening Podcast, the Speaking Podcast, and the Learn Polish Podcast, and all can be found on mycalm.com. Today, I've got some wonderful guests, Gregorio and Andrea. Please welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Roy.
So I know Gregorio for, 5-6 years. I met him at an A-Fest and did some breath work with him. And it was incredible because I've never experienced anything like that. So I suppose you can tell people your journey and introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, everyone. And thank you, Roy, for having us here. We are honored. Yeah, so when I met you, it was one of the many AFES that I attended. I think I went to 5 or 6. I'm not sure about that. And I would say almost, all of them, I was leading breathwork session. And the first one was in Costa Rica, in Croatia in 2015, where most people there had never heard about breathwork. So I did the first leader renegade session without being invited for that. And just 23 people came because it was literally just something off the schedule. But Vishen, like the founder of Mind Valley and AFEST, came too, and he saw the power of that. So, and the people that came, they had such a powerful experience that from that moment, every AFEST I was invited in order to lead the sessions. And it was such a beautiful experience because I love the AFEST crowd. It's one of those groups of people that are really, really good-hearted and they want to go further in their journey. They are all about how they can do better for themselves and for the world. And so I felt very good about keep going with that crowd. And that was one of the groups where I would, being in this place of understanding that breathwork, it's something that was still not known, but was gonna blow up. Like it was so clear. In 2015, when I would say breathwork, people will say, "What's that?" And now it's becoming kind of a buzzword. Also, thanks to Wim Hof and to some beautiful teachers that are sharing the practice. And I'm so happy because the more breathwork, the better. And also, I'm very grateful because before starting to lead these sessions, I was in a totally different journey. Like I studied architecture, and I got my master in the U.S. And I was there with a Fulbright scholarship. So it was really about academia. Fulbright is a scholarship that really brings you into this academia path. So I was also teaching at the university and assisting the professor. So I was really feeling like, okay, I really want to go to get a PhD and I want to start teaching. And that was my trajectory. But then I found breathwork the same summer when I graduated. And my first session I've ever had was a code markup activation from a teacher that brought this practice. Was a very intense type of breathwork. And when I did that, I felt my entire body full of energy. And I felt like, whoa, what is this? I never experienced something like that in my life. And I don't remember if it was the following session or the one after. So it was either my second or third session. I pushed so much. It was a very, very intense breathe out.
I can only imagine that how intense that was.
Yeah, I gave it all. I literally gave it all. And thanks to that, I transcended. Like I went to a place where there was no me, there was no you, there was no universe, there was nothing. It was just white, pure light and nothing else. And that was the moment that I understood oneness. I understood this theory of God, of nirvana, of bliss that I heard in so many books, so many people, so many religions. And finally, I had a first-hand experience. From that moment, I went to the teacher, Nick, who is his name, and they told me, Nick, I really want to bring this practice to the world. I really, really feel the call. Like I know that I want as many people as possible to experience this because this is it. Like if just with your breath you can experience oneness, what there is better than that? It's not harmful for the body. It's actually super beneficial for the body. It's free. It's always available. You can access in your house. Like it's always there. So the breath is the key. And they looked at me and they said, "Look, Gregorio, I've led with you a few sessions, and every time you went there." So actually, I now know that it was my third session because I had more than one with him. And he told me, "You have it. I'm going to give you some tips, but you have it. You can go and do it." And so I started spreading it with some friends at the beginning. and then more friends, and then more friends, and then they start calling me at different events, among which was A-Fest, and I start to really feel like, if you would ask me, Roy, what would you do if you have like 3 more hours to live? I will tell you, I will connect with my wife for the last time intimately, just for some time, the two of us. And then I would want to lead the most beautiful Breath of One session, like with all of my best friends and the largest with a lot of people, in order to really live these to people, because I feel that it's my purpose, and I'm doing this really because I want to support people to awaken in the most beautiful and powerful way possible. So that was a little bit about the journey of the beginning and where it went.
I mean, I've experienced a load of different ones with you, and it's like I got amazing visualizations. It's like, I don't know, afterwards you just feel so calm. As you said, the oneness. It's not everyone can do it right, but every time I've done it with you, I just felt fantastic. And I know we went to Envision as well together, and I've done it in a few different AFS with you, and I just love it. And if people that are listening have never tried it, like, you need to, embrace it. But the teacher is so important, and Gregorio, without a doubt, has the gift for this.
Thank you, Roy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I feel so good about that, because I really know it's for me, it's the most beautiful thing that I believe we can do as people, is to really embrace our gifts, to find our gift and then to embrace them. And for me, leading breathwork session is literally something that I have a smile. Like, if you will see me from the outside, I have a smile that never ends, because it just feels so good in seeing people experiencing this. And I'm very grateful because Andrea, who is my wife, actually is the same. Like, when we lead sessions, because we have led session together for a year, and the past year we've done something else. We can talk about this later. But when we led these sessions for a year together, she was always like, since the first one that we were leading, like the first one was kind of crazy, because we were invited in the house with the co-founder of Instagram, and we were at his house with a small intimate group, and it was their first time leading it. But I just knew that she was made for that. And when I saw it from the outside, I felt like, wow, my intuition was perfect, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I never imagined that I would become a breathwork teacher in my life. For me, I was working 10 years in the beauty industry, in the corporate world. And as I started to transform my life and go down this journey of loving myself more and reconnecting more to my heart and truly discovering, like, okay, what am I, like, as I started exploring these things, I started becoming more clear, like, okay, I don't want to work for a big corporation anymore. I want to be a part of doing something positive for the world. And as I started to explore this, what became clear was that my purpose was, okay, I want to support, like, I felt really good in supporting people to transform their life. But breath work was never, I never heard about it until Gregorio came to Barcelona. Basically, I had done a lot of, healing sessions and self-help books and podcasts and yoga and a lot of self-healing, but breath work was never on my radar. I'd never heard of it. And all of these things, like, really made me feel amazing and really supported me to transform my life. And it's so funny because, like, timing is everything. And as I really started to come to, like, okay, I'm ready to leave my job. I know I want to support people. And I was doing other things within the health and wellness space. He, like, came into my life. And at the time, he was looking for a wife, but I was just totally focusing on how am I going to leave my job and what am I going to do with my life now. And I remember he told me, like, yeah, I'm going to do this breathwork session. You have to come. And I was just like, what is that? And I remember he showed me a video, and from the outside, I was like, oh God, like, people were screaming and really breathing hard. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try it out. And I remember, like, he told me, okay, the only thing you have to do is push. And I've been, like, competitive athlete background. So I just, like, gave it everything that I had. And, like use your experience and the visualizations, like it was so crazy because I just pushed. And from the beginning, I was just, tears were coming out. And after the session, I could not stop crying. And I don't think that I had cried for so many years. Like it was so much emotion that had been suppressed for so long. And, later going through another process, I realized that one of the emotions I had put down was anger, and so much came out. And like you said, it's like the next day I just felt like all of this weight had been lifted off my shoulders, and I felt like a new person. Like I had gotten rid of all of this stuff that I didn't even know what it was. And I remember after the session, we were like in a circle sharing our experience, and I didn't really have words to put in like what I was going through. And he was like, it doesn't matter. And I was like, I don't know what it is. And he's like, it doesn't matter. And like, just embrace it. And it was just so beautiful, this experience of releasing so much deep emotions and healing that came from using the breath. And I was just like totally blown away. And it was at the same time that we had gotten this, well, a little bit later, the opportunity of teaching to the
before that, even about your grandma.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
This is a big one. My whole life I've been following what society told me to do, success, get the good job, XYZ, all of these things, stability. During this session of breath work, I had the visualization of my great grandma who came, and there were like these kids building blocks, and there was a finger that was just like pointing on them to like do what they were doing. And my great grandmother came down and kind of like set the children free, which almost was like my inner child being set free to like be whoever I wanted to be. And this was so powerful for me because in that moment I experienced this like breakthrough of like, like I can breathe again while I was breathing. So it was just so powerful. And I was so inspired about this practice because it wasn't something that even at that time, a lot of people weren't speaking about. And it's kind of what he was saying too, like it's accessible and it's something that we already do naturally. And the more you learn how to use that tool, like you can just experience so much transformation and change. And then I was so grateful when he, the universe, I was like, okay, universe, show me what it is. And he was like, okay, so I got this opportunity. Like, do you want to come along? And it just aligned perfectly with me leaving my job. And now we embarked on this journey of sharing it together. And I'd never thought that I would become a breathwork teacher. And then my like inner coach came out. And when I teach, it's kind of what he's saying, like to witness people experience so many different types of healing. Like everyone gets whatever they need in that moment from the experience is so powerful and so fulfilling to be a part of that and it's something that's so simple and it's so beautiful. So it's just been an awesome journey of sharing this together in the world. And now, we're married and it's so much more fun to experience that together as well.
Brilliant. And congratulations on your
Thank
marriage.
you.
And
Thank you.
Just because, you mentioned about the corporate life. What I'm finding is I'm constantly listening to people that worked in the corporate life. I mean, I worked for a company in Ireland for 13 years. But once people get away from it, you never hear anyone saying, oh, I wish to return to corporate life. Everybody is like, it's the shackles have been cut and you're free. So I think breath work will actually maybe give you the inspiration to kind of change, your direction in life.
Yeah. Unless like what I think is important here, Roy, to say is that it depends, because I think if you do leave it, it's because it wasn't for you. And so that's why you don't go back. Yeah. However, I also believe that there are some people that prefer to work in corporate because they prefer to be told what to do, to have a fixed amount of time that they work every day, to go home and to just unplug so they don't bring work at home and they don't have as much responsibility because, it's not, being an entrepreneur is a very different game. And anything you do, even if you open a shop, like any type of enterprises that you start to that you choose to start, I don't think it's for everyone. So I remember, for example, during my bachelor time, there was a classmate that we did a project together, and she told me, look, Gregorio, please, you choose, and they do what you tell me. Like she didn't want the responsibility to do the design. I did architecture. She didn't want to do the design, to deal with the professor. She said, you do and I execute, because she prefers that. She's the classical person that would prefer to have a 9 to 5 with like no issues in their head. And I think that the majority of people that leave corporate is because it's really, it's not for them. Or it was for them at the time, and then things change.
Yeah. Or you can also, like, something that I've thought about a lot is also bringing breath work into the corporate world as well, because that way, I mean, sometimes when you're in that world, you get so focused on what you're doing. Like, I was creating beauty products, and at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not saving lives, I'm just creating products. And like,
not only that, it was even worse.
What?
I mean, she was working for L'Oreal and Calvin Klein.
The big ones. So
they were making chemicals.
Yeah, so not really the best things for the world. But if you bring breath work and consciousness into the corporate space, I think coworkers will be able to relate to each other better. You'll have a tool to de-stress, which, like, if you take the stress level down, people will be more happy. So it will be an interesting, maybe for the future, bring breath work into the corporate space.
We were on that path, Roy. Like so we did 1 year traveling the world together, leading the Breath of Fun in different places. And when we went to Singapore, you have no idea, like the universe just aligned all the points, because we were invited to Singapore to lead the Breath of Fun. We did 2 sessions in a day. And when we went there, the people that participated, they had such a powerful experience that we had one girl from Lululemon asking us to lead it in their office. Then we had the main guy from ClassPass, which is massive. He has millions of users, that told us, we want to bring it to corporate. My girlfriend had a life-changing experience. She's not the same person anymore since when she did that session. I want to bring this to the world. We were looking for the next thing. And we spoke with a guy that works in the government in a super high position in the health, to bring it to the population of Singapore. Like, we really went to this amazing direction, and we were so excited. But then COVID hit right after. Like, that was literally like 2 weeks before COVID became like a real. It was already in China, but then it exploded, and so everything was put in pause. And so we spent the past 1 year reinventing what we were doing.
Yeah, I think it's been like a really, in a way, like a blessing and such a beautiful opportunity, because that practice, the Breath of One, and I'm sure you know very well, is so intense, and it's not really something that you're going to do every day. And so,
and not on your own as well.
And not on your own.
Exactly.
Right.
Because I haven't done it. The only time I do it is when I go to the AFES, because there's nowhere here I can do it. And I wouldn't like to be doing it on my own, to be honest. I think especially, you mentioned people have release, and it can be intense. So you have to be careful. It's not something that you just decide, let's go full in on this on your own.
Yeah.
We've gotten that feedback too, like we just recently spoke to one of our friends, and she said, usually breathwork is like, you have to create an event, and it has to be like something that you put a lot of time to do aside. And so all of this feedback and understanding that this practice was not a daily practice, we were like, okay, how do we apply breath work into something that's more daily, that you can do every day, that's you're still going to get the benefits and like experience these breakthroughs in your life, but in a more gentle and long-term sustainable way,
and on your own,
which is very empowering, I think, as well, right? To know, like, okay, I don't need a guide. I can kind of guide myself through this. I use my intuition to know how far to push, how little to go, what do I feel that day. So you also get clear within yourself how you're feeling. And so now we've been working on that, and we're so excited, because we're going to be launching our online program soon, which is going to be a daily breathwork meditation practice.
No, I'm excited to go into that. But what I'd love to talk about, because I know Gregorio well. He stayed with me in Poland, and like, you have really pushed yourself. You have investigated your own body, and you've done like darkness meditation. You've done fasting. You might just tell people a bit about that, because I think to find within is so important, and the fact that you've done that, you might let people know about that.
So I'm going to give first an intro, then I'll let him go. I like when we first met, like, what was so refreshing about him was like, he just put all the cards on the table, and like I'm so amazed at all of the things that he's done, because they're just like so far out of, I didn't even know these things existed, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna let you share
Which thing?
What these things are.
Which thing?
Okay, like one of the things that blew me away was which, you know, I was just like, oh my God, when he was like, yeah, and I was in Colombia with the shamans, and then I decided to be, you know, to not have sex for 3 years. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I had never met a guy who decided to choose to not have sex for 3 years because they were waiting to call in like their true love, I was just like shocked, you know, like blown away by this. And then the other crazy things, which I'll let you share, but like the fasting, like you said, and what did you do?
Okay, no, so let's
and why? Like, what did you do and why?
With the sex, it was not a choice of 3 years. For me, the idea of sex was, I don't want to have sex until I find you, until I find my perfect partner that I was looking for. So it could have been 2 months, 2 years, or 20 years. I was open to all of it, or never. I even said to the universe, if I meant to walk alone in this life, I'm okay with that. I would prefer to have a family. It's my choice. Like, I would love to have a family, to have kids. I really would love that. However, if the universe has better plans for me, because I believe in manifestation, but I believe there is a bigger order. So I believe it's very important to trust what the universe provides. And so I said, I'm okay, never have sex again, if that's the best way for me. So in that case, it was 3 years, and you arrive after 3 years, and it was so beautiful. And for the other edgy experience, this for me was not edgy at all, by the way. Like, for me, it was not an effort. I didn't feel like it was something, it was not challenging. It was just the normality. More challenging were the experiences that you, Roy, were mentioning, like fasting, for example. I did so many experiences of fasting, and my first one was 10 days of coconut water. And it literally was like the beginning. If you have read The Alchemist, that was the beginning of, I lived like the alchemy story for a few years. Have you read The Alchemist?
Yeah,
or what?
Paulo Coelho.
Yeah, exactly. So I when I read The Alchemist, I felt like, oh my God, I'm living this. This is what I'm living. This is the type of life that I've been living for a few years. And the reason why I'm mentioning this, it's because the first experience that I did with the fasting came from a moment when I was in the US, and I said, I felt go to Costa Rica, go to Envision, and then go to the jungle to find yourself. You're a little lost. So Envision, and then to the jungle to find yourself. I went to Envision without knowing what it was. I was just cold. And I went to Envision, and the first day that I'm there is this guy that comes to me. His name is Gary. And he tells me, I own 650 acres of jungle all around this area. If you want to come after Envision, you're welcome to stay with me. I have just a little house. Everything else is wild jungle. And they was like, are you serious? Are you literally offering me this? Like, I was a few weeks before starting to envision myself being in the jungle. And he told me, I also lead people into fasting. So if you want to do a fasting experience, you're more than welcome. And I was like, fasting? What's that? I never even heard of fasting in 2015. And he told me it's a practice where you don't eat. It's super good because you clean yourself both energetically, physically, in your mind. And I said, of course I want to do it. And I decided to start with 10 days. And those 10 days was amazing because I never have even maybe a day without food in my life. So having those 10 days was fantastic. And I decided to do it once a year, growing every year a little bit. So the second year I did 2 weeks. The third year, as a part of who I am, I decided, okay, let's do minimum 3 weeks. However, I might do longer, because when it was during the fast, I heard about Joe Martino, who is the founder of Collective Evolution, an amazing group both on Facebook and Telegram that talk about evolution and a lot of beautiful things, that was doing like a 40 days. And when I heard about that, I felt like, oh my God, I want to do that. It feels so good. So I decided, okay, let's do minimum 3 weeks, but then we keep going and we shall see where we go. And then I end up doing 45 days. And that was
Oh.
And that was so beautiful because it was an experience that really showed me what was possible to really go beyond limits. And I was doing some day water, some day coconut water, some days dry. During a vision, because on day 30 something, I went to Envision again. And so I did the whole festival without food. Like I was drinking 1 or 2 juices a day, but I was dancing and going to workshop. When people knew that I was doing like 30 plus days without food, they were looking at me and saying, how is this possible that you're actually dancing and doing all of these things? And I was like, I think we have it within us. We have this energy. I'm not suggesting to everyone to do it because I think it's a practice that I think it's important. I was living full on into a spiritual life. I was not doing a 9 to 5. I was doing workshop all the time. I've been to more than 40 between these events and workshops in the past few years. So I was really living that life. So I think it's not something that somebody can just start and do 45 days. I think it just takes.
Is the first day the hardest? Like, because like I kind of limited myself to I eat maybe once a day or twice a day, but I have tried to do the fasting thing, and I'm thinking, is the first day hard and then it gets easier, or was it just okay?
Not really. Like usually the hardest are the second and the third.
He introduced it to me, and then we did it together, and I think that what's beautiful about it is that it's always different. Like every time we've done it, sometimes it's like more emotional, or sometimes, like you're saying, the second or third day is just like so hard and then it gets easier, or like it really depends where you are in your life and your environment and what's going on emotionally. But
for the majority of people, it's second and third day because the body enters into ketosis. So you switch from burning glucose to burning fat. So it's just the machine that turns into something else. And usually the majority of people on day 4, they don't feel hungry anymore. So I usually suggest either do 1 day or do 4 or 5, because doing 2 or 3, you are going to the hard part and not enjoying the downhill. I usually give the example of it's like if you walk with the snowboard in your shoulders to the top of the mountains, and then you take the ski lift to go down rather than do the ride with the snowboard. It's if you do the walk, like if you do day 2 and 3, at that point enjoy day 4 or 5, because at that point it makes sense. And 5 days for me, it's a very good amount, because 7 is already a different game. At 5 days, usually it's something that I would say the majority of people will be able to handle without too much headache or problems, because
it's probably the day 2 and 3 are the toxins coming out of your body, and that's why you feel it.
Exactly. And then it becomes easy. And we did so much together. Like we did we started one tomorrow, by the way. And so we even did a few times some dry fast, which is a totally different game, because when you go dry, it means that you don't even drink water. And the longest we have done, it was 4 days dry, and then a few days with water. And that first sip of water after first day, 4 days, was
heaven.
Like,
oh my god,
heaven. It was literally like heaven. And it's very good because you go in autophagy, which is the process where your strongest cells in your body start to eat the weakest ones. So you just
recycling.
It's a recycling process. So you really give a boost to the body. And they say that usually you take 3 days to go to autophagy with the normal fast, with the water fast. And in this case, you go there with 1 day. But then it depends on the chemistry of the people, of course. It depends on how many toxins you have. It's a little different. But we felt amazing. And fasting, it's an important part of our life too. And we're very happy that we are actually even sharing with some of our clients. They are going through some good processes with that. And
because you can also you can also start with intermittent fasting, which is amazing as well. Like you get the benefits of it, where there's different styles. The one of the most popular ones or common ones is that you eat during an 8-hour window and then you don't eat for 16, which I sleep so much better because I stopped to eat earlier. My body is like fully focusing on relaxing rather than digesting food. So it's great. Fasting is wonderful. It's
I do the intermittent actually, because I eat within the window and I sleep amazing.
Awesome.
Good choice, right? That's very good.
And your dark journey, right? You did the dark journey.
The dark journey is a totally different game. It's I heard from a friend that told me that he went to a dark retreat, and they said he's an amazing guy. His name is Lotus in Costa Rica, and they said, what's that? And they said, yeah, it was a retreat where you go there with a group and you meditate and you do all of these activities in a fully pitch black place. And I said, oh my God, I want to do that. That sounds fantastic. And I started researching about those places. And then I met another friend who did that. And he told me the place where I did it was terrible in Mexico. I had insects walking on me, and I felt like in the dark, I don't like the idea to have insects walking on me. So I crossed the one in Mexico, and I found one place in Nicaragua. In Guatemala on Lake Atitlan. And this place was called Harmony, I think. And I decided you can choose, but the difference is that you do it on your own. In that case, you don't do a retreat that is led by a guide. You go by yourself in this small room, and you choose how many days you want to do. Very, very booked. So you need to see when there is availability. And I decided to do 11 days because it just felt like that was the right amount for me. And of course, you can leave earlier if you want, but if you leave earlier, you can't go back in. It's not that you go in and out as you wish. And I just went in, and it's kind of crazy, guys, because it was so much easier of what I thought. Like when I went in, I was just excited. Like we were analyzing actually this thing about me a few days ago, because I was trying to understand what do I have that supports me in changing things so quickly. Because we watch a very powerful documentary called Dominion. Highly recommended, guys, because it's for me, it was life changing. And in Dominion, you see how animals are treated full on, like very, very clearly. And when I watched it, before that I was 99% vegan. And when I watched it, I felt like, okay, this is it. Like I really am 100% vegan. Like I was 99% vegan, and that 1% I would eat sometimes a dessert that had some eggs or milks or butter. Like would not eat meat or fish or things like that, or not even a piece of cheese or eggs. But when they were mixed in the dessert, because I have a high sweet tooth, that would be what I would sometimes indulge. And when I watched Dominion, I felt like that's it. And I know that there is no coming back, because I am like that. When there is something important that switch, like when I watched the documentary Wim Hof about cold therapy, 2015 as well, from that moment on, for me, it was like, okay, cold therapy. And since then, I do cold therapy full on. So I was trying to understand why other people don't switch that quickly. And we were trying to understand what was there. And I realized, in my opinion, that the reason why I changed so quickly, it's because I love the unknown. I love it. I love the idea of, like, when I watched Food Inc. in 2013, and I changed my diet from eating a lot of meat to eat very little, I was excited to let it go. And when I watched Cowspiracy in 2015, I was so excited to say, okay, from now on, I'm 100% vegetarian, almost 100% vegan. And I was so excited. I was not like, oh my God, I need to let go of meat. I was just feeling like, okay, how is life as a vegetarian person? Let's explore. And for me, this was the same thing with the dark room. I didn't feel like, oh my God, what is going to be the dark room? Am I going to freak out? It was like, whoa, let's see. Like, I was excited about that.
I also think it's like you're so open to change in general. Like, you're not attached to being a certain way, like you're so excited about embracing new ways of being. So it also allows you to be more open.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. To these experiences. Because for me, like, I will do the things because I know that going through discomfort and pushing yourself a little more is the way to grow. Like when something is a little scary, it's like, okay, do that thing because you're going to experience some sort of growth. So at the beginning, I feel resistance, but then I know I will go through it. But I'm more of like a gentle approach type of person. And he's like more of the extreme type of person, which is great to have this kind of, we teach each other. Like, I see him being so open to the fear of, like, that's one thing, even through like the pandemic, is like the fear. I mean, totally now embracing the fear of the unknown and being like, whatever's going to happen will happen, and like kind of being excited and curious about instead of being scared. So I think also like, you know, that part of
that can be a big part as well. So yeah, with the dark room, what happened is that I went in and I spent 11 days there, and I will do all of my practices. I would just wake up in the morning and do some breath work, do some Reiki, do some actually before doing all of that was one of my favorite moments, that it will take maybe 2 hours to wake up. I will just go in between sleeping and being awake for 2 hours, which is not usually here. As soon as some consciousness comes back in, I wake up. There I would just stay in this phase, and I would just scratch myself, caress my face, just really really feel in connection with myself. And it was so beautiful. And then from there I would start with Reiki, breathwork, and all of these practices. And I would finish the day that the day was over, because I had so much time to practice. I would do Vipassana. I would eat very, very slowly, super mindfully. I would drum. I had my drum there.
And you didn't sing, right? Like you weren't speaking. Sing.
No, I didn't speak.
You said that one thing.
I said one time. I said yes. One time after like 5 or 6 days.
And what about the food? Like, how did they bring the food here? Was the food there? Like, how was that?
Usually they do. I told them that I didn't want that, because I didn't, as you know, I'm a little extreme in what I do. And I thought if they bring me food, I'm going to know how much time is passing. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to know how much time was passing, because they usually bring food twice a day. And I thought if they bring me food twice a day, okay, the second time, okay, day one is concluded. I would just count down how much time was passing. So I told them, I'm going to bring my own food. Very little. It was just a few bananas, few avocados, few tomatoes, like very simple thing that you can eat in the dark. And I'm gonna have enough for the first 5 days. And I asked them to bring me food on the day 5.5, so halfway through, because I thought I would like to have this benchmark to see, okay, the first part felt longer or shorter than the second part. That was the only reason. And so they did. However, I was so excited, Roy, about this idea of feeling like, is it day 2? Is it day 4? Is it night? Is it day? Like that was my whole. I was really hoping to be in this place of totally not knowing where I was in time. However, this plan didn't work, because there were birds that were singing. So I would hear them singing in the day, and they were not singing in the night. So if the birds were singing, I knew it was daytime. If I would wake up and there were no birds, I say, okay, it's still night. And then I would just count the days. So I knew exactly when the food was coming. Yeah, so it didn't work out. But it was super powerful. I wouldn't suggest people to do that unless they have done like a lot of practices, because, for example, doing Vipassana before that for me was super important, because with Vipassana, for example, you meditate more than 11 hours a day. So if you have done that before, you know that you have a self-practice that you can just sit and meditate all day. If you haven't done things like that, I think the dark room, I think it can be fine for like 48 hours or something like that. But I would not suggest to do a long process, because, again, I think it's important to have some meditation tools in your pocket in order to go into a dark room.
And I'm not sure, is it yourself that was telling me, because I know a few people that do a lot of these type of meditations, but were you making notes? Did you have a notebook for writing?
Yeah, I did.
It was you, and then you couldn't read your writing because you...
No. I brought a notebook, and I had these pencils, and so I would write, and I would keep my left finger where I would start, and then when the page I could feel the end of the page, I would just move my finger down, and they would keep writing. I just did something stupid because I wanted to have a super colorful book, so every day I would take a different pencil randomly. But some of them were like super bright yellow, and I just can't read exactly what's written there. So I have some pages that are unknown, but I have my book there. One day I can show you that. It's fun. It's fun.
You might start telling us about what you're doing, because I've seen a video on it. I'm excited about it because you're going to help people get into the breath work without the fear of actually being at home. Because honestly, I love it, but I've never done it since, and I miss it. I really miss it because I know the benefits of it.
Okay, so I want to tell a little bit about the journey. So because we have arrived to this place with the breath of fun being paused because of the pandemic, and I had so many people in the past few years that told me, how can I do it by myself? How can I find it online? And they would always share, like, there are some courses, and they would just send them to different courses. But still, there was not one that I would really feel like this is it. And we decided, okay, because there is not, let's create it. And so we start focusing on how can we support people to be in their house and to really enjoy doing breathwork every day. And so we thought, okay, in order to arrive to a place that you really can manage also to have astral journeys and to go back to old memories, to release traumas and things like that, it's important that you build up strong foundations. So it's kind of like the breath of fun. It's kind of like running an Ironman, where you do 4K swimming, 180K bike ride, and the marathon. And what we are doing before, it's the stretching, the yoga, the sprints, the training to arrive to that place. So we have created the training now. And what we love about this is that we thought, okay, how can we create something that it's so much fun that people will feel like doing it every single day? And so we combine something that we both love so much, which is what?
Which is breathe your freedom.
Yes, because like
we call it breathe your freedom.
No, but what we love the most together is music.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. So because we were also experimenting, as we were going through this and trying to understand like what this would look like, we would put on the music that we love, which adding that element to it was just making it so much more enjoyable, because it's not like, someone's telling you to do something. You're truly like doing something that feels amazing for yourself, something that you enjoy.
Because you allow the music to guide you. Like the point of the music is that when with the breath of fun, we have never done actually this evolution, but with the breath of fun, we brought the music to the game, like, by creating this 45 minutes super powerful music journey that really guide you throughout the session. And so rather than having me doing out, out, out and drumming all the time, you have the beat of the music that just gives that rhythm. And we give like very inspirational words in order to support the people to keep going. Like, this is not the moment to give up. And we keep just with that. And so we felt like, okay, let's create something that starts very gentle. And with the music, you just have this beat that gives you this guidance. However, you don't have to follow it, because another amazing thing is that so the foundation is the fun meditation approach. We called it the fun meditation approach because you approach it in a fun way. And the two blocks that are above them are music and freedom. And that's why we called it Breathe Your Freedom. And the idea of freedom is that we teach different types of breathing techniques. We teach the breath of fun, we teach the breath of fire, the Wim Hof method. We teach like different types that we have learned, holotropic, like the one that are more gentle, the belly breathing, like a lot of them. And then each sessions, after we do the first two levels, because each week you unlock a new level. You can't do level 5 when you are at week 1. You do level 5 when you're at week 5. So you keep building. You can always go back and do the levels before, but you can't go further. So when you're finished, you have access to all the levels. And the freedom idea is that you have all of these practices in your toolbox. And then in each session, based on how you feel, you can breathe in the way that feels best. So within the same session, when we press play on the speaker, she might be doing like, and then I might be doing like, and my mom, because we are together, we are doing it every day with my mom to also test it, and she loves it so much, might be doing like, because the music gives you a beat. But then based on how you feel, you can just do whatever feels best. And that's the beautiful missing link that we didn't found until today, because I did do the Wim Hof method for many months every single day. And after a while, I felt bored because I didn't feel like, I don't want to just lay down and do those intense 2, 3, 5 sessions. I didn't feel like that. And now, or I didn't feel like doing Vipassana every day, or like I always had something that I had to do. In this case, the only thing you have to do is to press play and to listen to amazing music. And with that, you then allow the breath to just come in the most natural way. and you can go as fast as you want. You can use the technique that you want. You can do apneas as long as you want. You can really do whatever feels best. And that's the reason why we are doing it every day now, because we feel excited. We look each other in the morning and say, okay, how much time we have? Okay, we have 20 minutes.
You adapt it to your lifestyle too, which is so important, because not every day is looking the same, So if someday you have 5 minutes, do the 5-minute one. If some days you have longer period of time, you do the longer one. So it's
and even
super
the 5
flexible.
minutes, and even the 5 minutes, there are some that are very intense 5 minutes, some that are very mellow 5 minutes. Like it's really adaptable to how much time you have, how you feel, what you want to achieve. You want to relax, you want to get an energy boost, you want to let go of some tension, and that they are all tailored to whatever you want to do. And we are so excited about this, because we really believe that this was the missing point in breathwork and meditation, and this can change the whole game.
Yeah,
definitely. And just on that, because when I got into meditation, it was actually Vishen's 6-step meditation process was what I started with, and I loved it, and I was doing it daily. But then I got bored with it, so then I just started doing the 6 phase in my head. So I totally get what you've just said. Like, it's ideal, because there's times that if you're listening to the one thing. So if you get this program with all different options, there's sometimes you have 5 minutes, and there's other times, hey, I've got half an hour here, and that's brilliant.
And it's so beautiful, because also, like, for the ones that maybe might feel like, oh, I can't quiet my mind, or I can't sit still, it's such a great practice, because you are focusing on your breath and you're like putting energy into the practice. And then you have like the Shavasana part, where you experience those benefits of having like that peace of mind, that stillness, which is just so powerful. Like it's so amazing. It brings so much clarity, and like that moment is magical right after the moment of like work.
And also, I think another amazing part is that the focus on the breath comes as a second layer. Like for me, like what you start by feeling like, okay, I'm gonna take some time for myself, playing some amazing music.
Yeah.
You start with that. Like, I'm gonna take this time to play some music, that the music, Roy, that we have is next level. Like, we have some of the most amazing DJs that we love, like, so much. We love music, both of us. She is also a DJ, and she's gonna teach me. And we have all of these amazing DJs that are also friends that gifted us their music. We have like
in different genres too,
so many different genres. We have from Random Rap, The Human Experience, Gone Beyond, Francesca Lombardo,
David Home, like just
so David Home and Olosi Label, and Eduardo Castillo, Marta Label. Like, we have very, very high level DJs. We also have these Branson, Closey, like big names, and they gave us their music because they believe in it and they want to share their music with in a different way. And so the idea is that when you choose, okay, I want to listen to that type of music today, you press play, and the idea is that you take time for yourself to just listen to some amazing music. But rather than just listening and thinking about your work and thinking about the grocery and all of those things, you just focus on the breath. So it's kind of going the other way around. It's not that you do it to focus on the breath and there is also music. You focus on taking time for yourself to just be within you, and the music and the breath accompanies it, and then it automatically is going to just come in the way that the breath wants to breathe you. Yes.
And I listened to The Human Experience. That's David, isn't it? Is the I listen to that every day. I play that every day on my Spotify thing. Like, I just love their stuff. Love it.
He's
awesome.
amazing. He's amazing. You met him at TFest.
I did, right? I've met him a few times. Yeah.
No, David Block is
very talented. Very talented. Yeah.
We're super happy to have this music. We have like 10 of his tracks in the meditation, so you're ready.
Gonna enjoy.
You're ready for a treat.
And just like what I find is I'm extremely productive, and I find it's all down to the some people go, I don't have time to meditate. I know that I'm more productive because I meditate, or I'm totally present. Even if I'm out in the garden, I'll just close my eyes, but I just be present, or I'm looking at the butterflies, the bees. I'm just totally present, or just concentrate on the breath. But by doing that, you're present as well when you're doing something, and you're way more productive.
Yeah, exactly. 100% agree with you. It's when you take time for yourself, all of your system gets so much more efficient. Then, of course, what you do after, it's going to become better, faster, more productive. Like, it's just normal. It's a big misconception that you need to do more time the same thing. It's much better to be more efficient in doing something. So if you sleep better, you're going to be more efficient. So it's better to take half an hour nap when you're tired rather than just pushing yourself.
Through, and doing the work, like not even half there.
And meditation boosts you even more, because it's even proven by science actually that when you meditate, you will recharge your system even more than sleeping. So it's actually perfection.
Brilliant. So like the modules, so how many weeks is the actual course?
It's going to be 11 weeks, because it's 10 weeks of levels, and then there is going to be the last one with also something special. We have some good surprises, and we have these levels that build up on each other, and we also have bonuses such as sleeping meditation, morning meditation, on the go, which is like 2 minutes one, boost energy. Like we have
the more shorter format ones.
Then we have also a group. We have a special group coming together and social media to really make sure that everybody's supported. We have Q&As. Like we are doing so many amazing things because we really want to start create this community of people that want to improve their life, optimize their life, and go to the next level. And the more of us can go on this journey together, the better the world is going to be. Like we really felt like in this moment where there is so much uncertainties, there is so much fear, there is so much distance between people, and some people don't see their friends and family. Like it's a little more challenging than most times in history. We felt like, how can we support as many people as possible? And so we decided, let's use this online. There is the world of online. So let's focus on the online world right now to bring this to as many people as possible, to then, when the time is right, meet in person too, so we can all be like, imagine if people go through the course, Roy, and then we meet and we do sessions together. People are going to be so built up that we are going to push so much more, that it's going to be even more fun, and it's going to be even more transformative. So
because even in the Q&As, like we want to be speaking within everybody, sharing, not only about breath work, but about other topics that will support everyone in the group to change their life and make their lives even better. So
And like you were talking earlier about, like that's when you went to Hong Kong with corporations. If people from corporations get involved in this, because a lot of them are the decision makers, and I believe that if they actually kind of get more with themselves and understand that it's not all about, you can still have a profitable company, but you can do it ethically, and you can look after people and everything. And I think that can have a huge influence on what's going on in the world.
100%. We really believe that the corporate world, it's one of the most important one for this topic, because there are corporates that are leading by example, such as Patagonia. Like Patagonia is a fair trade company that is fully focused on the environment and paying the right salary to the people and really treating people in the best way possible. And it's not focused on making as much money as possible. It's focused on having the best impact that is possible. So if more companies starts to take that direction, and there are companies in the world, like we know a lot of CEOs that are doing this. And you're right, like once that we really implement, because breathwork, it's going to become mainstream. Like it's going to become something like is yoga today. Everybody's going to know about breathwork. Most people have done breathwork, are going to be in the future have done breathwork. And we really feel it's important to bring this intention of doing it from a pure space, because I've seen a lot of teachers, a lot in the breathwork space as well, that are not coming from a place of really wanting to do it with love, to share the practice. Like I see that some people are seeing the business opportunity behind that, and they want to make money, to get some ego boost, and that's, I think, it can become an issue, because it's a very sacred practice. It's a very powerful practice, and if it's not coming with the right intentions, like a plant medicine shaman, like if you're not doing it from a place of, I really want to do this to support people, but I'm doing that because I want to be recognized, it's going to be a problem for both the people that are attending the sessions and for the practitioner that is sharing, because karma is going to come back, and it's you can fall into the trap of the spiritual ego, where you don't even see that you're coming from a place of ego, but you are coming from a place of ego. So it's actually one of the most dangerous traps. And I'm so happy that, even being with Andrea, we are in this we are together 24/7. So it's a constant workshop where we are reflecting on each other things, and we are growing so much because, Roy, like, honestly, I can tell you from a very humble place, if I would have had now millions of followers and millions of dollars in my bank account without having worked through the shadows that, thanks to Andrea, I'm working on, because we are together 24/7, so I can't have this mask of everything is fine all the time, I would have fallen into the trap of the spiritual ego for sure. Because, I was, as you know, in my past, I was very fiery and a lot of fights. I was in a dark place for many years. And then my pendulum went to the other side, where everything is rainbows and butterflies, everything is fine all the time, which most of the time was true. But sometimes I would have negative thoughts and I would just suppress them. And now, thanks to this practice that we're doing together, I'm really, really allowing these things to come out. And I now really feel ready to go big and to really scale what we're doing, because I know that I'm not going to fall into the trap. We really want to do this from a place of service and help as many people as possible. And even the idea of money, that for me once was something that I would reject. Even when we met, like, for me, money was something bad. Like, I felt that money was a problem of the world, because I saw so many people with a lot of money that were so much less happy than the ones that didn't have money. So for me, it was like 2 + 2 = 4. And I felt money is evil. But then I start to realize the problem is not money. The problem is that money is so powerful that if you don't use them properly, they can destroy you and the people that you have around. Because they give you the keys to so many doors that if you open the wrong doors, it can be very challenging. So in that moment, I unlock, and I felt like, you know what? Now I'm opening to money. Because if I have a lot of money, I can build schools in Africa. I can create projects for refugees. I can support people that are in need around me. Like, I really want to be empowered to help, not rejecting money, but using them for service. So we are opening up also to this chapter, and we're grateful because the time is now. It's really time to shift globally how the world is functioning, and we believe that through the breath we can have such a big impact.
No, absolutely. And to be honest, I'm really excited because I don't know how many breathworks I've done. I've done a load with yourself, and I've done it with other people as well. And like, I have seen people get full release, but in a way that they need support. And the fact that you're doing this in steps, it's something that, one, I can tell people you need to do this because I know it's a safe place. Plus, you've got the experience, and you're doing it in a really great way that they can, with the music, but that is not deep in, because I would be afraid to recommend that to anyone. But I know 100% that I can highly recommend what you're doing because, one, I've done it with you. You know what you're doing, and two, the way that you're doing it is in a safe place, which is ideal.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that so much, Roy, because like, I've witnessed more than 6,000 people going through the Breath of One in front of my eyes, and there were just a few, but 4 or 5 went so far, and you witnessed one of them actually at an A-Fest. That was one of the examples. That was actually the most intense I've ever witnessed. But I had other moments in which some people went so far that it was important that there was a practitioner there. In that case was me. The other time there was also Wampa. Like, it's very important that people bring you back. And if you have done the work before, if you have built up these foundations, then you can be by yourself, because you have all, like, slowly, level 1, level 2, level 3, you keep releasing a little more, and a little bit tears, and then at a certain point,
you get comfortable with it too.
Yeah, exactly. And you arrive to a place that you feel like, okay, now I can push, and they know how to handle it. So I know that we are talking about 4 to 5 people among 6,000, more than 6,000. So it's a very small percentage, but we don't want that risk. We want to make sure that anybody who goes through this process, who takes the journey of Breathe Your Freedom, is going to arrive to the last step, that they can access to that place in total safety.
And it's empowering them, that you become your own guide.
Yes,
you don't rely on something outside of yourself to tell you how to do it or anything else. Like you truly understand you have the power to kind of be your own, your own guide, your own guru, whatever it is.
Even in the sessions, we're going to release every week 2 versions. One of them is going to be with our guidance. And the idea is that at least the first day you do it with our guidance, so you just get a little bit of soft guidance. And the other one is without guidance, so you can just do your own. So you can literally choose every time and allow your intuition to guide you without having any type of suggestions from the outside.
Yeah, brilliant. And I know we discussed as well that you'll give something that I can put on in a few days as well, so people will get a bit of experience from it. And you're starting it. It's starting in a week, I believe. Is it? The launch is soon enough. Yeah. So
the launch is April 12th. We are so excited about that. And we also have a wait list because we want to keep the group intimate. We decided to limit the group to 50 people. We have a wait list, so the people that are in the early bird wait list, they are going to be able to jump on board on the 11th of April, so one day earlier than doors open. And so we have this opportunity for the ones that are in our network, and they can experience this before anyone else.
No, beautiful. So yeah, sure. Like, how can people get in contact? How can they find out about it? What's the best way to get you?
You want to say?
Well, we have, the website is www.breatheyourfreedom.com. And when you go there, that's where you can sign up for the early bird waitlist. And also you can follow us on our social medias, because we're constantly providing the updates there. And we're in the middle of a 6-part video workshop series. And so on social media is where we tell, this is when the video went live, this is where you can access it. So those are kind of the 2 places, is the website for breatheyourfreedom.com to get on the early bird list. And then if you follow us on our Instagram handles, you will totally be up to date with everything that's going on.
Yeah, and also in the early bird wait list, you get you get our emails where you get all the new videos that are coming out. So it's very helpful to stay updated and to be on the loop. And it's going to also give you the access there earlier, so you can make sure to be on board. And for Instagram, my is gregorio.live. It's so strange for me to say Gregorio rather than Gregorio, because the R should be
Gregorio
rolled, but I got used now speaking with some American people, so it's Gregorio.live. And yours?
Mine is Andrea.c.ochoa.
Ochoa. And we are putting up a lot of there is also our love story in my account. We are sharing a lot of beautiful things, so if anybody's inspired, you are more than welcome to see what's going on there.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And I mean, I've seen the first part of the video and it was lovely, because sometimes you look at these things and they're really scripted and you're just so natural, and it's enjoyable to actually watch. So I think you're learning. It's great to watch something and you're going, oh, this is nice and interesting. So I think people will get a lot of benefit from that, the video.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the purpose. Like for us, the 6 parts workshop was really about sharing value with people that even don't want to jump on the course, because we felt like we want to share as much value as we can with people without even having people to pay. And so we provided these 6 parts. And even the Breathe Your Freedom is going to be very accessible price. We don't want to reveal it because we are finalizing a couple of things. And there are also going to be 2 options. One, it's going to be with just 3 Q&As. The other one is going to be with weekly Q&As for the 11 weeks. So where there are going to be these 2 trajectory, but we decided to make it affordable because we would love as many people as possible to eventually really start spreading this love with the breath and with the music, with the fun, and just connect all the dots.
Excellent. No, exciting time. So I'll put all the links on the podcast description. But listen, I love speaking to you, and I'm actually looking forward to this because I think the world needs it, and no better people than both of you.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet, Troy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So that's all for the meditation podcast. You can find all our episodes on meditationpodcast.org, and we're also going to have it on video on BitChute and YouTube, and the links will be in the podcast description. Until next week, take care.